All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I didn't even put my damn shoes on today. Let's see what's going on here. Alrighty. Got the apron on. Got the towels going. Hi, Michael. Alrighty. First things first, coronavirus. Wash your damn hands. You should do that anytime you're in a kitchen, but very, very important during these times. Minimum 20 seconds. 20 to 60. Hot water. Air dry or use a clean paper towel. Hi, Shannon. How you doing? My sister Shannon's in the room, everyone. Oh, my producer Danielle's on. So here's the news, kids. In Germany, they have announced until April 19th, no more than 2 people gathering in public. You should not be inside with anyone that's not family. All non-essentials are done until April 19th, so all we get is grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations. But at least we're doing the right thing, and hopefully we can nip this in the butt, at least here. All right, very importantly, before we get to the banana bread. TV magic. Grab your pre-iced glass. Tonight's choice is going to be a Jameson with Thomas Henry's ginger ale. Oh, I didn't even put shoes on today. I just put my contacts in my damn head. Oh, Peter Stickles, get that pink. All right. Good, we've made ourselves a cocktail. So some people were asking me, oh, my cousin Emily's in the room. Cheers, everyone. Happy Corona. I had some people ask me why banana bread. Super simple. I realized that a lot of people were hoarding when they went to the stores. I don't know how many damn bananas people can eat in one sitting, but I figured you might have some that are ripening and you shouldn't waste food, especially in times like this. You should never waste food. So the perfect thing to do with overly ripe bananas is make banana bread. First things first, don't forget to preheat the oven. I mean, first things first is wash your hands, but we already went through that. Don't forget to preheat the oven. The worst thing you can do is get all your shit ready and then, not have a hot oven. Then you got to sit and wait. So we're going to go ahead and get our oven. For my Europeans, 175, and I think for the Americans, that means 350, if I'm doing it correctly. I don't have a convection oven, so I'm going to dial mine up to like 190. It's an old man's oven. Gorgeous. Now we're cooking with gas, literally. Okay. So for banana bread, there are 2 very, very, hey Micro, how you doing? Oh, Aaron Elvis. Yeah, math is hard. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're making these separately because banana bread can get very, very dense. This is not an all-in-one bowl kind of bullshit thing. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get all of your dry ingredients together, and then you're going to get your wet ingredients together. So let's take our trusty little baking board here. Still has some flour marks on it. Now, when you do the flour for banana bread, you want to make sure you have a really, really, really tight pack. Hi, Senior. And what I mean is it calls for 2 cups of all-purpose flour. So when you're doing that, make sure you get a really tight pack, because if you have more than 2 cups, you're going to end up with like a super, super dense bread, right? So put in our flour, and go ahead and give that a shake as you're putting it in. You don't just have to stack it in, because you want to make sure you get a lot of air in here. When you make these kind of sweeter or dessert-style breads, like zucchini bread or cinnamon nut raisin, you can end up with like a super, super dense bread, and then it's just like chewing a sweet brick. Nobody wants that. Now, as I say, and if you've got enough to go around, even though we're on, kind of quarantine lockdown, you can always drop something off if people's doors went up. Some really nice additives for banana bread can be like little chocolate chunks. I've seen people put M&Ms in there. I personally like pecans, but because I'm going to be giving this away to a couple of people at their front doors in my building, I'm going to exclude all that. We're going to make a super simple banana bread. I don't know what people's allergies are. I want to be able to write a real clear list of what goes in. So if they don't want it, they can give it away to somebody else. Or if they do want it, they don't have to worry about having a nut allergy or something like that. But you can throw anything you want in. Craisins work really well. Dried cranberries are really nice. Okay, so we've got our flour in. Then we're going to take 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, so here's our baking soda. Get that in. Let's get the salt going. Oh, I've misplaced the salt. We'll just get it here out of the crack. How's everyone's day going? This lockdown thing's incredible in Germany, but hopefully we'll put an end to it. I guess New York's kind of over 15,000 cases in New York. And the US is responsible for 10% of the global cases, and they're expecting it to spike. I heard a really funny joke today that said President Trump is so full of shit that the US has run out of toilet paper. That one made me giggle. We're not getting political, we're just baking. All right, so we've got those ingredients in. That's great. We're going to set those aside right now. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get together our creaming ingredients. So you're going to take your brown sugar. With the brown sugar, you've got 3/4 cup. Some people like to split this and add some granulated white sugar or just do it with granulated white sugar. I like more of that molasses flavor in mine. So I'm going to go with 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And then we're going to go with 1/2 cup of butter. Now, another little hint, because I like to give you guys hints. I took this butter out of the fridge about 2 or 3 hours ago because it makes it a lot easier when you're mixing this all together to use like a room temp butter. People that may find it hard think you can like warm it or melt it down. What happens is you actually start to separate your butter and you get a terrible bake. So if you just pull this out about 2-3 hours before you get going, then it's perfect. Baby mama's on. Hi, Amy. And I see Keith. How you doing, girl? Thanks for coming in. All right, so we're going to get about 1/2 cup of butter in here. Bloop. And then we're going to get our eggs. Now remember what I told you guys on the very first episode. When you're doing your eggs, do them separately, because if you get a blooded egg, it's going to ruin your whole batch of eggs. So try not to crack them in together. Just go as they are successful. There's one. Touch a shell. Get that out of there. 2 perfect eggs, but it's still just a good precaution. All right, we're gonna come over here. We're gonna use my like 1960s egg beater. Normally I would suggest using a KitchenAid, but I do not have one of those expensive beasts, although I would love it. If you have that, the good thing is you can just get that thing going while you're working on your bananas. So I'm going to mix this up really, really well and show you exactly what it means to cream your butter and your sugar and your eggs. We really want a fine cream. Feel free to make yourself a cocktail over the sound of the egg beaters. All right, so as you can see, literally all creamed together nicely. Now, what some people do is they will pre-mash their bananas because they like to measure out 2 1/3 cup of mashed bananas. I know for a fact that that's about 4 to 5, 4 large bananas, 5 medium bananas. So I'm just going to take my bunch of 5 that I have here and put them in, get them going. If you're not sure of the amount, I would measure it out because you really, really, really can screw up a banana bread if there's too much banana in there. I'm getting so many hearts from someone, I don't know who it is. But thank you. Oh. Thirsty. Cheers. This lockdown thing really sucks. I'm going to be as big as a damn house. Maybe I'll just start cooking like salads. It's never going to happen. But I did do yoga today in the living room. It's the first time I think I've ever done yoga. I was exhausted. And everything, parts I didn't know I had hurt. I got up and I was like, ah! I almost had to have Ruger peel me off the living room floor. It's terrible. All right, we're just going to mash this all in together, and then we're going to fold in or individually add our dry ingredients. Good enough. All right, so remember, the secret with the flour was to have a really nicely packed, oh, hi, Ma. Hi, Tracy Choi. Have a really nice packed white flour, all-purpose flour, because if you go over the 2 cups, like I said, you can end up with a really, really, really dense bread. So I'm just going to sit here, and I'm just going to put a little bit in at a time, and I'm going to fold it in, and then we'll go back to the blender to make sure we've got a nice mix. But this way you're not getting any clumps. You don't have any big spots in your bread as you're going. And folding is simply just taking a spatula and getting a good mix from bottom to top, bottom to top. I said top and bottom. I hope everyone out there is doing okay. I hope anybody with kids hasn't lost their mind. I hope you guys are checking in on senior citizens, friends, family, and neighbors. You can socially distant and, still use things like FaceTime apps and Facebook Messenger and stuff to make sure everyone's all right. Remember, loneliness is a disease as well. People need to be able to feel like they're in human contact. And, remember, if somebody's in need, it doesn't mean you have to go over there. You can send Amazon to their house. There's Prime Now, all that fun stuff. We live in a world where we can help people from a distance. So if you think you know someone, just remember, check in on each other. Right now is a time where our physical health is far more important, but we can stabilize our mental and emotional health as well. And, we don't want a blowback once everyone's physically healthy. You have people that are depressed or, having issues with social isolation afterwards. All right, so that's all folded in. We're going to go back here real quick. That's a really nice mix. All right, now what I've done here is, people always talk about greasing and buttering baking sheets and whatnot. I really, really, really prefer the method of lining with a brown paper. I find that works the best. This way it's not going to stick at all, nothing. When I pull it out to put it on the cooling rack after the hour bake, I can literally just peel the brown paper off and be good to go. So I'm simply just going to grab my spatula. We're going to fold this right in. We're going to let this bake for 60 minutes. We're going to stick a toothpick in it to see if it's done. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.